Somewhere I have never traveled, gladly beyond any experience, your eyes have their silence. In your most frail gesture are things which enclose me, or which I cannot touch because they are too near. Your slightest look easily will unclose me, though I have closed myself as fingers. You open always petal by petal myself, as spring opens, touching skillfully, mysteriously, her first rose. Or if your wish be to close me, I and my life will shut very beautifully, suddenly, as when the heart of this flower imagines the snow carefully everywhere descending. Nothing which we are to perceive in this world equals the power of your intense fragility, whose texture compels me with the color of its countries, rendering death and forever with each breathing. I do not know what it is about you that closes and opens. Only something in me understands the voice of your eyes is deeper than all roses. Nobody, not even the rain, has such small hands.
The 20th century American poet E. E. Cummings has been long recognized as a pioneer of modern experimental poetry with his unconventional use of poetic language. In their stylistic analysis, researchers Lee and Shi note that within his large corpus of groundbreaking poetry, E. E. Cummings has long explored the nature of love. At the beginning, his poems were full of sensual and physical aspects of love, with explicit imagery and expressions. Then he matured in style. His love poems became more serious and more focused on the spiritual interaction between the self and the other. Finally, E. E. Cummings brought his understanding of love to higher ground, emphasizing the transcendental and metaphysical nature of love. Love that is beyond our understanding, love that leads to vulnerability. Written in his signature lowercase style and published in 1981, E. E. Cummings' Somewhere I've Never Traveled, Gladly Beyond, shows the mysterious intensity of love, the power love has in opening and closing ourselves to others, and indeed, the beauty of love itself. Right away, through metaphor, the speaker tells us of a place that isn't geographical, but emotional. The speaker is talking about something transcendental, something that cannot be compared to any prior moment in his life. Then we get the astonishing line, "Your eyes have their silence." The beloved's eyes are not just physical features, but windows to a profound inner world. The moment brushes up against synesthesia, the fusion of sensory experiences. Eyes are visual, but they have soundlessness, suggesting a sensory overlap that reflects emotional complexity. It's an intimate internal world that the speaker is drawn into, not through words, but through presence. The stanza further emphasizes the quiet love, the quiet power of the beloved. The phrase, "Your most frail gesture is subtle and small like a movement of the hand." Yet within that gesture lies the ability to enclose, to captivate or surround the speaker. The second line, "or which I cannot touch because they are too near," suggests a paradox. A paradox is a seemingly self-contradictory statement that when investigated may prove something truthful. The poem states that some feelings are so intimate they cannot be fully grasped. Here in the next stanza, the speaker continues to describe his vulnerability. Even the slightest look from the beloved has the power to unclose him, to open him. The simile "closed myself as fingers" evokes the image of a clenched fist, an image for self-protection or emotional protection. It suggests that the speaker has, in the past, shielded himself from connection or hurt in the past. But now this love has the power to open him easily, without force. Then we have an iconic and a lyrical moment in the poem with personification with comparison. Personification is attributing a human quality to a non-human thing. The speaker compares the beloved's influence to spring opening a rose, and he himself is the rose. The phrase petal by petal suggests care, patience, and a sensual unfolding. The parenthetical, touching skillfully, mysteriously, emphasizes that love is both deliberate and magical, something beyond rational understanding. Here, in the next stanza, the speaker acknowledges the beloved's power not only to open, but also to close him, to further elaborate on what it is like to be under the power of his lover. There's no resistance. This love is so deep that he surrenders entirely. Even the act of closing is described as beautifully, suddenly, which highlights the trust and acceptance in their bond. Then again, the poem turns to natural metaphor. Spring's blooming rose now imagines winter's snow. The closing is equal to what occurs in a flower during winter. The snow is described as descending carefully everywhere, a phrase that evokes stillness, quiet, and grace, and not fear or depression. Then the speaker makes a sweeping claim. Nothing we can perceive in the world compares to the beloved's intense fragility, a phrase that echoes the lines above. The paradox here, strength within fragility, suggests that fragility is not weakness, but a transformative power that surpasses all worldly experiences. The next line is complex and abstract. The color of his countries could be understood as a rich variety of emotional landscapes the beloved carries within. The phrase rendering deaf and forever with each breathing suggests that every moment with this person contains both the fleeting nature of life, death, and the eternal. It's love that is both transcendent and timeless. Then in the final stanza, the speaker admits that love cannot be fully explained. The beloved has a mysterious power to open and close and open him, to move him in ways that surpass logic. The parentheses suggest a whisper, a private confession. The parentheses help maximize a sense of intimacy, as critic Roy Tarkovsky notes. The voice of your eyes fuses sound and sight, and uses metaphor to show this voice is deeper than all previous symbols of beauty, like roses, as echoed earlier. The poem ends with one of Cummings' most famous lines: "Nobody, not even the rain, has such small hands." This image combines delicacy and power. Rain is soft and gentle, yet it can shape landscapes. The beloved's touch is even more subtle and transformative. It's an intimate, unspoken gesture that changes the speaker profoundly. E. Cummings' "Somewhere I Have Never Traveled" is not just a love poem. It's a meditation on how intimacy and love transforms us, and how love wields a beautiful power that makes us voluntarily vulnerable. Through natural imagery, roses, snow, spring, and rain, E. Cummings explores how love can open us petal by petal, close us gently, and open us gently, and move through us in ways we don't always understand. To Cummings, love is a mysterious, transformative force, as shown in this poem, something that opens and closes the self like a flower, something as delicate and as powerful as the rain.